If you've ever wondered what to post on LinkedIn, boy, do I have the trick for you. It's what we've used to help our clients get a lot of views and followers on LinkedIn, and it works no matter the industry. All right, so grab a piece of paper and a pen and write one vertical line. And on the top, write teach and tell a story. Then draw 4 horizontal lines and write the following: do, believe, hate, and hope. You should have a grid of 8 buckets, and these are all you need to create content that gets people's attention, grows your following, and most importantly, gets you leads. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you this entire framework. So grab a pen and piece of paper. If you haven't already, we're going to work through this together. Hey, I'm Will. I'm an Emmy Award Winning Director, and now I'm the founder of a digital media company called 98 Central that helps service-based companies build relationships and generate leads through social media. Now, when I first started this business, my own LinkedIn profile was a ghost town. I was posting generic articles, feeling like I was a total imposter. I was an expert in my field, but man, I was paralyzed by that blank page. It wasn't until I started organizing my thoughts, getting that foundation, that everything changed for me. I developed this simple grid. Suddenly I had a system, a reliable, repeatable way to just share my expertise that felt authentic and, most importantly, actually got results. It's the same system we teach our clients that I'm giving to you today. All right, so let's build this thing. If you haven't already, take that piece of paper, draw one big vertical line down the middle. At the top of the left column, write teach, and at the top of the right column, write tell a story. Now, these are the 2 primary ways you communicate your value. You either educate directly or you wrap your lesson in a narrative. Now, draw those horizontal lines across the page to create 4 rows. And on the side, next to each row, you're going to write these 4 words: do, believe, hate, and hope. Now, you should have a grid with these 8 empty buckets. This is your content machine. This is the foundation. And every powerful piece of content that you're ever going to create for your business can fit into one of these 8 buckets. So let's break them down. The first row is do. This is about the tangible work you perform. What do? You build something, you fix something, you strategize something. This is where you prove your expertise. So when you teach what you do, you want to not be afraid to give away what you might consider is the secret sauce. Now, some of our clients struggle with this part at first because it kind of feels like you're giving away the farm, but you're really not. You're giving small pieces of your process. So it signals this confidence and authority, and you're making your community better. All right, so let's talk about some examples. If you're a marketing agency, you could write a post titled 3 Steps to Write a Google Ad Headline That Actually Converts. You're teaching a micro skill that's part of the larger service that you do. Now, if someone is just looking to solve a problem for themselves and not actually looking for a marketing agency, if they use that and they're better for it, doesn't necessarily mean they were going to be a client for you. Now, if you're a fractional CFO, you could do a post that explains how to read a cash flow statement in 60 seconds. You're teaching a fundamental concept that showcases your financial acumen. Now, tell a story is about what you do. This is where you bring your work to life. You talk about the problems you solved, the mistakes you made, surprising results. There's 5 different types of stories you can tell: your first, your last, your best, your worst, and your weirdest. And we'll make a video about that one day. There's all these different ways that you can communicate how you do what you do without actually bragging on yourself through the form of stories. The most powerful words in the world are once upon a time. All right, so you see how this works? You're demonstrating your value without ever saying, hire me. Now, the next row is believe. This is your point of view, your philosophy, the hill you're willing to die on in your industry. If do is about competence, believe is about character. People don't just buy what you do. They buy why you do it. People don't buy from companies. They buy from people. You have to show your humanity in this part. If you're teaching what you believe, this is where you share your frameworks, your manifestos, your core tenets. If you're a leadership coach, you could do a post that's outlining the 5 principles of empathetic leadership. You're not just teaching a tactic, you're teaching a worldview. If you're a software developer, you could do a post that's titled Why Moving Fast and Breaking Things is Terrible Advice for Enterprise Software. You're taking a stand and you're teaching your philosophy. It allows people to identify and say, yes, I want to be part of that community. People like us do things like this. Now, when you tell stories about what you believe, that's sharing the origin story of your belief. What happened that made you believe this thing so strongly? And this creates a powerful emotional connection. All right, we're halfway through. But before we get into the most controversial and my favorite bucket, I want to ask you a quick question. Of the 4 buckets that we've covered so far, teach and do, story and do, teach, believe, and story believe, which one feels the most natural to you? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's get into it. The third row is hate. This sounds aggressive, but it's about passion. The thing you have to think about is what injustices in your industry really get you fired up? What's the misinformation that maybe competitors or just people who are well-meaning are spreading? What about bad practices that are hurting the clients you want to serve? This is about channeling your righteous indignation into a force for good. Now, teaching why you hate something, that's exposing a flawed methodology and teaching a better way. This positions you as the insightful protector of the client. So if you're a financial advisor, a post titled, "Why Whole Life Insurance is the Worst Investment for 99% of the People, Here's the Math." You're teaching against a common practice. You could also tell a story about what you hate. Share a story of a client who was harmed by the thing you hate or how you helped them recover. This allows you to set them up as a hero and you as a guide who lived by your core values and actually made the world a better place. When you clearly state what you're against, the people who agree with you aren't just followers, they're now fans, and you're building that community. The final row is hope, and this is an important one for driving sales. This is about the transformation you provide. What is the beautiful future state your clients can expect after working with you? You're not just selling a service, you're selling a destination. And your job here is to paint a vivid picture of that destination. Now, when you have that teach and story framework, what that does is that keeps you from having to write this really gross post about this is the transformation you can expect. You're making all these promises and it feels very salesy. There's ways to do it that's more graceful. And so if you're teaching what they can hope for, you can give them a vision of what's possible. You teach them the roadmap. Now, when you're telling a story about hope, this is the ultimate home for case studies and testimonials. Tell the story of a client's journey from their before state to their after state. There's so many clients that we have that have been in business for so many years, really making a difference. I mean, doing some cool stuff. And they haven't captured those stories and they haven't told people about what they do. And if people know what you do and how you're actually helping people, man, does it help you sell so much more. And that's it. That's the grid. What you do, what you believe, what you hate, and the hope you provide. Communicated through either teaching or telling a story. 8 buckets, that's all you need.
But here's the most powerful bucket.
And in my experience, it's story and hate. Nothing unites a community faster than a common enemy. When you tell a passionate, authentic story about fighting an injustice that your ideal clients also despise, you're creating this bond. It shows you're not just a vendor, you're on their side, and gives that why behind everything. It also allows you to be a little counterculture. So many times we try to just fit in and be vanilla and not be offensive in any way. But the goal of any good marketing should be that people clearly know if they're a good fit and they clearly know if they're not. And the worst thing you could possibly do is have people apathetic to who you are and the services that you provide. Okay, so that's the framework. But I know the next question. Now, this grid gives you the what, but you still need the how. So that's why I created a free resource for you. It's a LinkedIn prompt swipe file with 24 distinct prompts, 3 for each of the 8 buckets we just discussed. You can use it to take this theory and immediately put it into practice. It completely removes the friction of that blinking cursor. To get that swipe file right now for free, just click the first link in the description below. Once you know what to talk about, the next step is talking to the camera in a human way. And I teach how to not sound like a robot in this video right here. Check it out and I'll see you there. As always, if this has been helpful, hit subscribe. Leave me a note in the comments. Appreciate you sticking around to the very end. I'm now going to do a dance. Have you clicked the video yet? We're dancing. Oh yeah. I dance like a dad. I own New Balances.